Okay, good morning. We are here back on this on site with our project. We got the roof up. It is covered in tar paper, and this tar paper is an underlayment. And what that does is it goes underneath the shingles. As you can see, we've got shingles here, but this is just a second barrier of protection. Just in case any water gets behind the shingle somehow, it's got this tar paper which is run in courses from the bottom working the way up, so they all overlap, so water will continue to run off. So we've got our tar paper on, and now we've started our shingles. Some people might think, oh, you just take the shingles, hang them over the roof and start nailing them in. Whereas shingling is not complicated, but there's a few things that you have to remember. First, you need what's called a starter course, and that's this narrow strip of shingles here. Now you can buy specific starter courses, but it's 3 times as expensive as just a bundle of shingles. And what this does is this gives that bottom layer of shingles a little bit of extra support because it overhangs the edge of your roof by usually an inch. And that just gives it a little bit of extra support. And then you'll come back in and lay your standard shingle on here. We're using architectural shingles, meaning these little tabs on here, they're cut in random patterns, and it's a little bit easier to run these because it hides better. So if you've got a few mistakes, if your rows aren't perfectly straight, it kind of blends in, and that's what a lot of companies are using these days instead of these traditional 3-tab shingles. But whether it is architectural or 3-tab shingles, there's a few principles that remain the same. So you get your starter strip on, then you bring your next shingle down, you butt it up to the shingle beside it. You don't want to have big openings in here, but you also don't want them overlapped. They sit right beside there. Make sure you're flush on the bottom. Make sure you're flush on the bottom with your the other end of your starter strip. And then in a normal situation, you're going to put 4 nails in. So one about 1 inch from each end, and then about every 12 inches in the middle. If you're in a high wind area like the coastline, like areas that are prone to hurricanes or tornadoes, you're going to actually spread 6 shingles or 6 nails every shingle. That way it's going to just have a little bit better hold down pressure in the event of high winds. Now you can use a roofing gun like this, or you can use hand drive nails. Roofing guns are much faster. So simply, my overlap point is where you see these tabs change here. So I'm going to come up about 1 inch. There's actually lines printed on the shingles. It may be difficult to see in the video, but there's lines printed on the shingles, and I'm going to get inside those lines and fire nails, one at one end, the other end about every 2 inches, every 12 inches. Okay, and if the nail head pops up, knock that back down. Now you should notice that we've got them in this step pattern. I'm not just simply coming straight up the roof with my shingles, because if you come straight up like this, there's places for water to get through. So you want at least a 6-inch overlap between one shingle and the next shingle, and that is going to keep them together here. And that's going to be right where we want them to be. Okay. So our next video, we're going to talk about staggering the shingles, and as you work your way up, checking your measurements and making sure that you're even working your way up the roof. I will see you in the next video.